Hello everyone, my name is Patricia Pinder, and today I will be discussing understanding andragogy and best practices for adult learners. As curriculum leaders, one of our responsibilities is designing and delivering professional development that support teacher growth and ultimately improve student achievement. To do this effectively, we must understand how adults learn and what motivates them to engage in professional learning. In this presentation, I will provide an overview of andragogy, discuss Malcolm Knowles' assumption about adult learners, explain why andragogical principles are important in professional development, identify some best practices for engaging adult learners, and discuss strategies for reducing bias when facilitating learning experiences. Let's begin by looking at the concepts of what andragogy is. According to McDonald in 2023, understanding the characteristics of adult learners is essential for crafting meaningful professional learning experiences. Andragogy is the theory and practice of adult learning. Malcolm Knowles popularized this concept and emphasized adults learn differently from children. As shown on this slide, pedagogy is typically teacher-directed and content-centered, while andragogy focuses on self-directed learners who want learning experiences to be relevant, meaningful, and problem-centered. As adult learners bring a wealth of life and professional experiences into the learning environment. Because of this, professional development should not simply focus on delivering information. Instead, it should provide opportunities for participants to connect to new learning for their experiences, as well as collaborate with others and apply knowledge to that real world. Now that we have defined andragogy, let's take a close look at Knowles' 5 basic assumptions about adult learners. Malcolm Knowles identifies as 5 assumptions that help us explain how adult learners learn best. Our first assumption is self-concept. Adults prefer to take ownership of their learning and make decisions about what and how they learn. The second is experience. Adults bring prior knowledge and life experience that influence how they interpret and apply new information. These experiences become valuable resources for learning. The third assumption is readiness to learn. Adults are most motivated to learn when they recognize a direct connection between the learning experience and their professional and personal responsibilities. Our fourth assumption is orientation into learning. Adults generally want to be problem solvers rather than content-centered learners. They want learning that helps them solve real challenges they face in the everyday life that they live. And the final assumption is motivation. While external rewards may play a role, adults are often motivated by internal factors such as professional growth and personal satisfaction and the desire to improve their performance. Understanding these assumptions help us create professional development experiences that are meaningful, engaging, and relevant to educators. Now that we understand how adults learn, let's explore why these principles matter in professional development. Applying these andragogical principles is essential when creating professional development opportunities for teachers. When educators understand how new learning applies directly to their classrooms, they are more motivated and more likely to engage with the content and implement new strategies. Effective professional development recognizes teachers as professionals with valuable experiences and expertise rather than passive recipients of information. As illustrated on this slide, the andragogical principles increase teacher engagement, which leads to improved professional learning, which then contributes to enhanced classroom practices and ultimately increases student achievement. Zapita in 2019 emphasizes that effective professional development should be collaborative, ongoing, and connected to educators' daily work. When professional learning is relevant and practical, teachers are more likely to transfer what they learn into their instructional practices. With these principles in mind, let's examine several best practices for engaging with adult learners. There are several strategies that can help make professional development more effective for adult learners. According to McDonald in 2023, again, adult learners are most successful when learning experiences are relevant, collaborative, and connected. The first practice is an active participation. Adults learn best when they are actively engaged in discussions, problem-solving activities, and opportunities to share their experiences rather than simply listening to a lecture. Learning becomes more meaningful when participants are involved rather than just passive. The second best practice is providing real-world applications. Teachers want to understand how new ideas can be implemented immediately into their classrooms. Using authentic examples, case studies, and classroom scenarios can help connect this theory to practice. The third best practice is encouraging collaboration and reflection. Professional learning communities peer discussions, and reflective activities provide opportunities for educators to learn from one another and deepen their understanding of new concepts. These strategies align with Binghamton's 2024 findings that adult learners benefit most when learning experiences are practical, engaging, and connected to their professional goals. As curriculum leaders, incorporating these strategies can help create more meaningful and impactful professional development experiences. In addition to these instructional strategies, it's also important to consider how bias can affect these professional experiences. So bias can influence how professional development is delivered and how it is received by participants. Cultural, ethnic, and gender biases may unintentionally affect the examples a presenter chooses or the language they use, as well as the perspectives that are represented throughout the presentation. When participants do not see themselves reflected in the content, they may feel less engaged or valued. To reduce bias, presenters should intentionally use diverse examples, inclusive language, and materials that represent a variety of perspectives and experiences. Creating opportunities for all participants to contribute their viewpoints can also foster a more inclusive learning environment. Preston Smith in 2024 emphasized the importance of designing learning experiences that acknowledge these diverse needs of adult learners. By creating equitable and inclusive professional development opportunities, we can ensure that educators feel respected, supported, and empowered to learn. As we conclude, let's review the key findings from today's presentation. There are 3 important takeaways from this presentation. First, understand that adult learners are different from younger learners. They are self-directed, bring valued experience to learning, and seek learning opportunities that are relevant and practical. Second, apply andragogical principles when designing and delivering professional development. Effective professional learning should include opportunities for collaboration, active participation, reflection, and real-world application. Finally, include all learners by creating equitable and inclusive learning environments that recognize and respect diverse perspectives. In conclusion, understanding andragogy allows curriculum leaders to design professional development that respects adult learners, promotes engagement, and supports meaningful growth. By applying these principles and creating inclusive learning experiences, we can better support teachers and ultimately improve student outcomes.